want to talk to you today about one thing. Who is it that's running our business? Who's running your business? The woman that's running your business is the woman with all of your history. The woman that has seen things and felt things in her family and society and school and has been shaped by those many, many, many factors. Today, somebody wrote me and said, I have outer success and I have inner dissatisfaction. But in my mind, she said, it comes from the fact that I'm healing wounds and I'm continuing to grow. And I thought a lot about what she said, because when you're running your business, as I said, the woman that's running it is the woman with the wounds, the woman that's continuing to grow. And those, and they're not necessarily, you may not call them wounds, I'm repeating what she said. You might call them places that don't feel right inside of you, where you're not living up to who you think you really are fully all the time. Maybe you yell at your partner, or maybe you get more irritated than you think you should at work, at your business, for example. Or maybe you wait too long to get things done. You procrastinate. Or maybe you're so concerned about the small details that you lose sight of the big picture sometimes. Or maybe you go out and play a lot and you lose sight of keeping the business going, and then you got to get taken aback by what's happening in your business. It kind of sneaks up on you, but this happens over and over. So aren't those what this woman called old wounds? Aren't those templates inside of you that are running the show? Aren't those things that keep coming up inside you created by your history, the life that you've lived, how you were taught, to be and not be what you were allowed to be? Well, of course, they have to be. That's how we are shaped. We come in and then we get shaped. We get the square peg starts getting rounded off. So the way you run your business is the way you run yourself and the way you run everything. And if you are noticing as you get older that the way you're running your business, successful as it is, with all the outer success that you have, that there's something going on inside that doesn't feel right, that's where it's really important to pay attention. And you probably wouldn't still be here if you weren't paying attention. So that kind of internal friction, that kind of thinking about decisions in a way that maybe isn't the fullest, deepest, easiest way for you to make decisions, just for example, or low grade tension, even on good days where you notice, wow, it's when you finally do relax, you notice, boy, I've kind of been on this I've been in this tense place, much more tense than I realized. Or when you rest, but it doesn't really restore you, or you feel like you're managing yourself instead of just leading from who you really are. All of those are places where the dissatisfaction, it may not feel emotional. And I wanted you to see some of the tie-ins between your emotional state, your emotional growth as a human being, and how it's actually affecting how you run your business, even when you're successful. And here's the rub. If you're going to continue to be successful, which I imagine that is your intent, the way you will continue will be in the same way that you've always had success, because that's what you know and it works and you don't want to give that up. At the same time, it also contains the seeds, but it also contains the seeds within it of that dissatisfaction. What if you could address the dissatisfaction, that what's going on inside, not because there's something wrong, but because this is how you were shaped. And there are other parts of you waiting inside, ready to be unleashed, that can do the success better, differently, and with much more ease. And I know that brings up fear. Well, this is how I got here. But I can tell you categorically, it is true. Maybe it's uncategorically. This is true. I see it all the time because those other parts of you are waiting deeper inside, and they're underneath. They're still there. They're underneath because of how you were shaped. And the dissatisfaction is pointing you back there so that you can actually move through it now. If you want to continue this conversation, DM me on Instagram, Wendy.Yellen, and I'll see you there. Thank you for listening.